Welcome everyone. Today we're going to paint the background on a fluid art pour that has gone awry. We're trying to accomplish something like this. We're going to paint light background, some atmosphere, and some stars. This is what we're going to paint on today. I had to go get my son from school after I poured this, and when I came home, as you can see and hear, it was quite a mess. Also, there was this rodent that showed up. Pointy nose, weird ears, super ugly. So anyways, let's get started. When I first start, I look at the best parts of the picture. When you look at this piece right here, it looked really nice. This is what the whole thing looked like when I left, such as this. Beautiful sails, you know, see everything looks pretty decent there. And then when I came back home, I don't know what happened here. It just looks like it got a mess. So the first thing I do is put the bowls down and get my Sharpie. So put it down and I figure out where's the best spot. What looks the best? What would make the best looking planet? If you're looking at this piece right here is really ugly. But I think once it's 3D and looking like a marble hanging in space, it's going to be gorgeous. Also, I loved how this looked. I thought it might give it a little pop of color out of the black. Okay. This was poured at the same time, sitting right next to it. Look at these huge, juicy sails. Everything looks good. Everything stayed where it was supposed to. They were in the same tray, but this one just went crazy. So I'm going to keep this as an abstract because I had a whole lot of people liked it. And my auntie loved it, so I might give it to her. But this is what I do. I start with bowls. Put bowls on where I think. I love to use clear bowls because then you can see around what it's going to look like inside. I also use cups. This one is for here. Same size, and then I couldn't find the right size, so just use the bottom of the cup on this one. And so there, and then I just trace them with a Sharpie. And so what you're left with is this. So I learned most of my techniques from the 10-minute painting guy down in Houston, Texas. He taught me a lot about how to paint the background. The main thing is forcing your background back and bringing your foreground forward so that you get that really deep look to space. I usually use this square-headed brush because you can really get a nice straight line around your planets. I use phthalo blue, Mars black, and titanium white. When I first get started, I decide where I want my sun to come from, and it's usually the right corner. So then I know we're coming from this corner down, and so your sun's going to reflect here, here, and here. And in these areas, you're going to want it lighter than black. You're going to want it a phthalo blue into a gradient of a lighter and lighter color, and that's how you get your atmosphere look to it. So anyways, let's get started. I'm going to take my black, and since I want my lighter colors up here, and I know this is going to be dark back here, then I'm just going to go right up to the line and push down. So I really want to get those circles in there nice and even. So just go around with the black real close to the edge. The great thing about the Sharpie is it's permanent and you can't, you know, get it off after. So you really need to think twice about where you're putting your planets, because once you mark them, it's over with. They're there. So anyways, this is getting a little close, so I'm going to go onto the back. I like to round out my edges so that when you're walking up on it, it continues in the circle. So when you get a side view, it just still looks like it's hanging there like a marble. So as you paint all this, the black, come around here on this side, we're gonna paint it black. Just being careful that Sharpie mark to keep it nice and circular. The flat brush really works great because you can get right up in there to that mark. Weird thing about being on camera is I'll find my mouth's open a lot of times, and this part's pretty embarrassing. Now right there I made a mistake. It's hard to see, but I did go into the black Sharpie line farther than I wanted to. So I'm gonna take my thumb, wipe it right back off. Usually I keep a wet paintbrush, and that's in case I see something that I missed and it dried up, and then, you know, it's harder to get off once it's dry. So just keep going. Pick this up. Come around here. Just really want to. The thing about light is it's coming from here and it's going to shoot behind the planet also. So you really want to not blacken this part in the back. So your lights on this side, we're going to do highlights and then your dark lights. So, and shadows. So right now I'm going to take the phthalo blue and just go the same thing I was doing with the black and just kind of putting the phthalo blue back there, because that will lighten it up a lot more than you would expect it to. But being in contrast with the black, you can definitely see it. So once you get into areas like this, you can just pick up a little black and blue, put them both on there. Blobs blue, blobs black, and then kind of X them out. Got to kind of get it in there in that toothy area. Okay, and then I'm going back in with the phthalo blue, just straight out of the tube. And we're going to put it here. Since this is my first video, I'm gonna let it go in real time and instead of cutting anything out. So just kind of X and smooth. For some reason this paint blobbed up in the middle. It didn't crack, but it's got some folds in it. I usually add a gloss medium to my pours so that I can get a nice smooth finish. So that when I finish with a varnish or resin, then it just takes it real easy. It looks professional. It's all smooth and even. There's no lumps, weird things in it. Just kind of Xing out, getting that extra paint spread around. Definitely have to do 2 coats of the black and blue. And that's why I make sure and keep that blue around the area, you know, about a quarter of the way where the light would be. So I'm going to go with this one. If we're looking here, your sun's coming out of here. So that means here is going to be the middle of where you're going to paint the blue from, like kind of a quarter of the ball, and then, well, maybe more than that. Maybe 30% of the ball, and then you're going to come back down here, same line, because you want the light to go straight behind it, and then you're going to cut it really small. Because we just need to see it, that there's ball in the back in the shadow. So, right here is about where you want to put your shading lines for your light and your shadow. And then the light coming behind the planet, very small. So take the phthalo blue. Gonna go around this planet. Gotta excuse me, this is my first video. I don't know what you can see. I am filming with a phone. But I've been asked to do some videos of some of the way I do things, and so this is a test run. Just got that blue there. I'm gonna put the phthalo blue on this planet here. Now this planet is going to kind of bounce the color off of this one. And so I'm going to drag it on around. Like this. Keep going with the phthalo blue. And then some more phthalo blue in the front of this planet. And get some water. Okay, and then we're gonna fill in with black. Just kind of hatch it out. X's. It's just the first layer, so it's not that big of a deal. I mean, of course you don't want brush strokes in there, but by the time we get everything on this, you can't see much. Okay. Go around here. Also, you want to keep whatever you made your circles with. Found sometimes I forget what I made them with and put things away, and then when it's time to put the stars on,